Hello, I'm back. I'm back live here in the private Facebook group. I'm not really sure what was happening the first time. As a matter of fact, let me hold on for a minute. Let me undo this here phone because I know when I'm doing a video, the phone's gonna want to ring. Yeah, so I'm back here in the Alluring Woman group community here. I'm not sure what was happening the first time, but I couldn't get access. So this is great. Welcome to the Alluring Womanhood and Femininity Show. I'm Monique Head, relationship coach to passionate marriage-minded women. You already know that though. And I'm here every Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 12 noon Pacific. If you're watching the replay of this and you like access to my community where you can get emails, emails from me and get access to this community, you can click the link below in the description box and go there. Today, in today's episode, I really want to speak about the importance of really letting love in. Letting love in. You know, I remember reading a book and it said something like, you don't have to work at love, you just have to let it in. Or maybe that was me who said that, but there was something about really letting love in. I study my craft, I read a lot, and everything becomes a blur after a while. But, you know, it's one of the things that I know is that, we can't guard our heart. You don't guard your heart by acting like you don't have one. And so when we're on guard, and that's what I find, I help women to really release their guard, to let their guard down so that you can become a woman that you're proud of, because I know it doesn't make you feel good to remain guarded. And I've been having conversations with several women in my community, and I know that it does not serve you. It doesn't feel good because you want to be seen. You want to be seen, you want to be accepted, you want to be loved by someone who knows you well, and the only way for that to happen is when you allow yourself to let your guard down and really release those fears that are keeping you blocked right now. And so that's what I want to speak about today, how you can begin to really let love in. And I want to give you just one thing that you can take home today and really start implementing immediately, and really give you a shift in perspective, or really a shift in really changing who you are. Because blossoming into the best version of yourself, which is something that I, help women to do, help you to do. Blossoming into the best version of yourself is a practice, and it's really about changing beliefs, changing behaviors, changing your identity. And it's a process. It's a process. And so one of the things that I know is that if you're a woman of a certain age, if you're over 25, really, over 30, let's just say that. If you're a woman over 30, you've had some experiences. You've had some experiences, and some of those experiences have left you hurt and left you guarded and thinking about the past. And so you have this film in your head that's going over and over and over and over again. And as I mentioned before, you know that it's not serving you. And so anytime that we're on guard, we're always looking out for what's next, right? We're looking out for something to fix. We're looking for something to go wrong. And we just never really get a chance to exhale. We never get that chance to exhale, to feel like love is in us and like love is around us, because we're always looking like, what's going on? What's next? What is he doing? What's happening? Do we have a future together? Is this the man? Can we get married? Can we have children? Can I be happy? And actually, can I be happy is a great question to ask yourself. And I feel like we don't ask that question enough. We don't ask, do I like him? How do I feel around him? How does he make me feel? We're wondering, does he like me? So we're asking ourselves the wrong questions. And so really, whatever has happened in your past, I first of all want to acknowledge that if you are still experiencing pain and you find yourself emotionally unavailable, maybe you're with a man and you've been in a relationship for some years, on and off. And you find that you're not able to let go and to release, and maybe you're not standing in your own standard. I've spoken about that before. Staying in your own standard, the alluring woman standard. What's your standard of grace? Meaning that if he is emotionally unavailable, if he's guarded, if he's doing whatever he needs to do, that you're not a chameleon, meaning that you don't pick up off of that energy, but you set the standard that you have for yourself, and you remain in that standard of grace and poise and confidence and love, if that's the standard that you have for yourself. So when we get caught up, you know, when we're not in our own standard, right? When we forget about that, because that easily happens when we're by ourselves and when we're alone and when we are in our own head. But when we get caught up in that attack thoughts, right? Those films that play over and over and over in our head, it's unfortunate because we develop this belief that the past will predict the future and that the future will be just like the past. And it becomes difficult for us to let love in. But by holding on to that, you don't get to be your beautiful self. And I really believe that you rob men of the pleasure of getting to know you, and you rob them of the pleasure of really making you happy, because there is this sense of suspicion and skepticism. Who's giving me hearts and likes? Thank you very much. And I don't see you right here. I see some like buttons, but I don't see who it is. So introduce yourself. I would love to see that. And thank you. Thank you for the likes. I just saw them go across the screen. It's so cute. And so when you're guarded, your light is diminished. Your light is diminished, and you don't get to serve the world. And that's so important because, as you know, I believe it's important that you get to stay in your reign, right? Your level of influence. You influence men more than they influence you. As women, we influence men more than they influence us. And I believe that the masculine exists to be in support of the feminine. So if you are able to really create that opportunity, allow yourself to be served, allow yourself to be, you know, cared for, loved, seen, that is going to come once you are able to let love in. Before you can let love in, you have to be able to release your guard. You have to be willing to allow yourself to be vulnerable and admit, like, be willing to take the risk. Be willing to take the risk. And I can assure you, hi Tammy, good to see you. I can assure you that there's more for you on the other side of the resistance, because there's a cost right now. There's a cost of living in the world where you are now, and the world that your potential, your most polished potential, will allow you to enter. So the unfortunate thing is that you won't know if you're not willing to leap. And I would love to help you to really leap. And I can speak about this because I know what it's like to be on guard. And I'm looking like this because I wrote some notes down, because this has really been heavy in my spirit, and I don't want to miss anything. And I don't want to cheat you ladies out of any information, like any ideas that have come, that have been divinely downloaded into my spirit. I don't want you to miss out. So I know what it feels like to be guarded. That was the thing that kept me stuck. That was the thing that kept me isolated. This sort of emotional wounding and playing this story over and over and over and over and over in my head until, you know, my friendships became at risk, because I was so just like in my own world, not allowing myself to be supported, not really sharing my story. And I felt like I couldn't share my story because I was afraid that no one would understand. I was afraid that people would just tell me like, well, leave, well, just talk it out, just all of these things that I had heard, but really wasn't substantive, perspective. You know, I think that there is sometimes that friends and family can really oversimplify things and say, well, you know, if you want to work it out, just talk about it. And I'm like, really? You know, what about when just trying to talk about it goes wrong and it turns into a fight? And it turns into an argument and it just goes south. How do you deal with that? How do you manage that? You know, and that's something that I work with women one-on-one to do, to really develop the language and the phrases and the skills to be able to communicate in a way that doesn't have the man pull away, but actually you get the results that you want, because you have a clear path and you have the skills to advocate for yourself and what you want with grace. So, you know, I say that to say that I've been where you've been, and, you know, sometimes we want to speak in such a way because we just want to let them have it, or we want to don't let our guard down because we've been hurt, or maybe you feel like you've lost a good guy, right? And so you're guarded in that way and thinking that that love cannot happen for you, or maybe that your good years are behind you, or sometimes a guard can be up because you feel like you're a seasoned woman, you're a more mature woman, and this man might be your last chance. And so you don't want to do anything to mess it up. And so you don't really allow yourself to really be seen. So, and you might be afraid because you don't really want to lose yourself in the relationship. And it's costing you. It is really costing you. I hear you, Tammy, say exactly like last night it went south. So I guess you had a conversation and it went south. Yes, it happens. It happens. It happens. And I believe that men are really simple. It's we women who are the more complicated creatures, you know, because we have a lot of responsibility, and we really do have a high privilege, but it's really about being able to manage everything that creates, like everything that encapsulates us women, and be able to come to a community, a committed community such as this, where women are sharing their experiences, where you can allow yourself to be seen and not feel alone. You don't have to feel alone. You're not alone, right? So I'm here walking you through this, showing up every day for you, sharing my experiences. I see you ladies who are here often sharing your experiences, being present and really connected in your own life. And I see you. I see you. And this is a great first step. I want to acknowledge you, because this is a great first step for you to really leap into your vision. Leap into your vision, because I know sometimes it's not easy. And you know, it's easy to lurk. It's really, really easy to lurk. Hi, Ashley. Ashley says, you're touching me. You are touching me right now. I'm 31, and I thought that I'd be married by now, but I've been feeling like all the good guys. Wait a minute. But I've been feeling like I let all the good guys go because I was too focused on my career. Yeah. I'm here with my bedmate. Welcome, Velvet. Welcome. Yeah, Ashley, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. The good news is that you still have an opportunity, right? You're alive, you're a young woman, and you can make the most of the time that you have right now. I mean, you can meet someone tomorrow. You can meet a man tomorrow. But it's really important that you start equipping yourself with the skills to see things differently. And yeah, sometimes women like us who are very like chic and educated and cultured, and you know, we want a man sometimes who's going to look good on paper. And who will help us to also rise to the occasion. Someone that we can believe in, someone that, you know, just matches us, matches our energy, matches our goals, our visions. Hi, Kelly, welcome. Good to see you. Great to see you. I love this. I love this. Thank you, ladies, for being here. And, you know, at the sacrifice, so we have to figure out, what is it worth to you? What is it worth to you? You know, I remember after law school, so this was like a few years ago, actually. I had gotten an offer, it was a call for an interview, but the position was in Rhode Island. And this was before I was married. And I can remember, at the same time, I remember applying for a job in Houston. And this is after I met the man who became my husband. And he was so shook. He was like, whoa. You know, I remember his telling me that this is like messing up the plans that I have for you, like the plans that I have for us. And I say that to say that, you know, growing up with a single parent in the home, like I was raised by my mom, my father was still very active in my life. But there's something about us divorced kids, like children of divorced parents. No, is that right? Basically, if you've been raised in a single parent home, how about that? That there's this sense of, there's something always in the back of our minds of like this sense of abandonment. So we have to do for ourselves. We have to do what it takes to care for ourselves and make sure that we are set and we are good to go. And, you know, I had to make a decision. And the money is going to come, right? Experiences, jobs are going to come. But I knew that this man was the man that I had prayed for, and I wasn't really willing to let that go. So I say that to say, as you move forward, Ashley, you have options. You have a decision that you can make. I mean, what's the vision that you see yourself? You know, what is it that you really, really want? What's important to you right now? Before, you know, it sounds like that career was a priority, but you can change that right now. And if you want to have a conversation, go ahead and email me. And because of that, that's a good segue though too, is that when we're guarded, sometimes we can put so much energy into our work because we feel really good about the work that we're doing. We can see a return on that investment. However, when it comes to someone else, something that is really outside of our control, it can be really, really difficult to allow ourselves to be seen and allow to let our guard down, because it's like, listen, we can put in this effort, but we really don't know how it's going to go. We don't really know. And that's the beautiful thing about it. Like, there is beauty in that uncertainty. There is beauty in that uncertainty, and it really allows you a time to just really get connected with the present moment, to enjoy this moment right now, rather than projecting, right? Rather than trying to predict the future. And I believe that I mentioned this before, but even in the book, Love is Letting Go of Fear, Dr. Jampolsky talks about, you know, what did he say? I had to write it down. Let me see. That it feels more important for us to predict. It feels more important for us to predict that we are going to be miserable in the next moment and find pleasure in being right than experiencing true happiness in the next moment. Let me tell you, when I read that, I remember reading it a couple of years ago. I was like, woo, that is it. Because even though I feel like I'm an expert at this, you know, close. Ooh, even though I feel like I'm an expert at this, I still get my foot stuck in the mud, right? And it's really important that these fears are going to continue to pop up. Fears will come and go because it's a part of the human experience. But it's about having the capacity, having this skill set to be able to hold those fears in captivity, be able to understand what's true and what's real and what's not. Because nothing that is not real can exist. And fear is an illusion, right? It's intended to keep you safe. So anytime you find yourself guarded, and sometimes you'll know when you're guarded because you'll feel it in your body. You'll know that it doesn't feel good to you. Like, who wants to be guarded up against the wall, always looking around, wanting to know what's happening next? No. We don't like the way, you know, the heart beats and the pain is in our neck and our head and we can't sleep at night and we're overeating or not eating at all. And not really concentrating on work or on our families or whatever it is, whatever your story is. Like, I know what my thing is, whatever, you know what your thing is, right? Doing drive-bys and checking phones and, you know, clicking on his every move, clicking on his every move, all of this stuff that nobody's really talking about, but it happens because we're guarded. And so my big wish for you today, ladies, my big wish is that, sorry about that. That was honey bot. My phone just rang. So my big wish for you, ladies, is that you choose your reality by releasing the fear. Okay? You get to choose your reality by releasing your fear. And I know that this is easier said than done. But it's really about having and developing practices that will help you to change your belief system and help you to collect the evidence of what's true and what's real right now, so that you don't go back into like the head and mind games, because that's the stuff that was going to take you out the game. And you want to be in the game. You want to be right now. That's why you're here right now, right? You want to be here. So let me see. Let me finish this real quick. It says, see. Dave Renee says, as I'm transitioning out of a 4-bedroom house to a 2-bedroom condo and letting go of the stuff that was insulating me from vulnerability, feel scared as hell, but I'm excited about the possibilities. That's a good thing. Good for you. Oh man, I know that's a big transition for you. Yeah, and it's supposed to feel that way. Like, you're supposed to feel the fear and do it anyway. If you're not feeling the fear, then I would be worried. But because you feel both excitement and a little bit of just anxiety, nervousness about it, it sounds like it's a good move. Congratulations. Congratulations. I know that you posted about that before, and even when we spoke, you mentioned that. So kudos to you. Great job. Your life is moving forward beautifully. So, as I was saying, I really want, my big wish for you is to be able to choose your reality. That's what you get to do, right? You don't have to do it. You get to do it, which means that this is a privilege for you. You get to choose your reality, and you can do that, by letting go of the fear that keeps you in emotional turmoil, because that's what it's costing you right now. The emotional turmoil, the inner conflict, the skepticism, the mistrust, right? Being perceived as like this just not feminine woman, like not really being your best, most alluring self, and showing up in a way that's really dull and, you know, boring, when instead you can just be, you know, light and fun and love and happiness, and you can be associated with that, right? Because people associate you with whatever feelings you're going to produce in them consistently. And men commit to women that they feel that they can win with. And men commit to women that they feel good about themselves when they're with you, right? But if your inner landscape, what's his man's name? Linen honor calls it your internal gravity, right? Because you're going to get the masculine reflection of yourself. So that's why it's so important that we change that inner landscape. We tend to that inner garden. We water our garden, and we do and develop practices that would help you to live out your best life, to polish your potential so that you can attract your man. You can own your femininity. You can live that beautiful and loving and have that relationship for a lifetime. At least have the skills to do it. And even if, you know, you're with someone who you're like, he just doesn't do it for me, you're not wasting your time. You're having fun. So you don't feel like you're settling. Okay? Well, I got an appointment, y'all. I feel like I'm up here rambling, and this is such a great conversation. Thank you. You're welcome. Yes, moving forward, letting go, leaving the shirt with the S on it. Now, by the way, you made your bed every day this week. Awesome. Winning, winning, winning. So Velvet says, I'm grateful I can choose my reality because so many women around us and around the world aren't in a position to do so. Absolutely. Thank you for saying that. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. You know, when I hosted the Alluring Woman series, an interview series, Rupal Turner, who is a feng shui and like a Vashti practitioner, really spoke about the different types of luck. And one of them was, I think, like birth luck, something about where you live, like the place that you were born into. And especially for us women in America, we're in a good place. I know that our country isn't the best, but I've been to a few other places and we've got it good. We've got it good. So it's really great that we are able to, if we can, make ourselves aware and really develop a sense of consciousness so we can take advantage of the opportunities and really exist and start living within this privilege. So yeah, that's it. And really living in that privilege to love, right? We get to choose who we want to love. We get to choose how we want to love. We get to choose the woman that we desire to be. You have options, girl. That's the great thing. That's what this life is all about, having options for yourself and creating that for yourself. Don't be late for your next appointment. We love you, but don't want you to miss anything. Peace. Is that recorded anywhere so we can view it? Is what recorded? Oh, you mean the Alluring Woman series? Yes, no, not anymore. So that was, I had done that about a month or two ago, and I'll be doing another one coming up in the future. So I didn't sell it, but it's not available right now. You're talking about the Alluring Woman series, unfortunately, no. Okay, so ladies, that's all I have for you right now. What did I say? So really, I want you to sum it all up, right? Let love in. You don't really have to work at love. You just have to let it in, release the skepticism, and choose your reality by releasing the fear. Because when you don't release the fear, there's a consequence of that. There's lack of connection, less dates, less hugs, less intimacy. And I'm talking about even beyond sex. And just so much emotional turmoil. But when you're able to let go, you are able to, and I wrote this down, give your full attention to the present. You'll forget about the fear and you'll be able to see things differently because it really changes your perspective. That's what it's about, which is what I know that you really want. Okay. So if you want to learn more about how you can begin to develop habits and practices that will help you to let your guard down so that you can hold the fear that's in your mind, hold that captive. If you want to have a conversation, if you want to learn more about that, email me and let's have a conversation. Email me at monique@feminineallureacademy.com. In the subject line, put let's talk. In the subject line, put let's talk. And let me know what you're going through. What's the challenge that you're having right now? Why do you believe I can help? And why do you want to change that right now? Okay. And then we'll set up a time to actually get on the phone and have a conversation so that you can move forward with more confidence and more grace. All right. Well, ladies, you can catch me here tomorrow. That interview. Yeah. Sorry, Tammy. It's not available. That's what it was. I'll be doing another one sooner than later. Okay, ladies, you take care. I love you. Bye.